welcome back. And if this is your first time here, welcome in. So I am taking a 30-ounce straight tumbler from Hog. And I got this idea just by, kind of going through some of my vinyl. And I was kind of like, okay, you know what? I want to do this. I want to see how this will work. And I really love the outcome. So I got this plaid from North 80, but she doesn't have vinyls anymore. So I actually got Wendy at 311 Co. to upload a plaid that you could definitely use. It's black and white, just a small gingham plaid that you could use for this particular design if you wanted to replicate it. So what I did was I put a line there on that using the Cami Page Boutique cradle there, and I just took my pencil that you see there and I just drew a line, and then now I am applying this. Now, because it is a straight, there's straight lines, there's, a pattern that I need to make sure that it is, meeting up in the backside. I made sure that I was putting this on appropriately, and that it felt like when I wrapped it all the way around, that I was getting a full connection with with those squares and those lines in this design. So just to get some of that bulk out of there, I just took my little cutter there and drew a line, just scored it all the way down, and then removed that excess of that vinyl just so that we wouldn't have too much bulk, because it can really get kind of bulky when you have overlapping of the vinyl and stuff like that. So it did have a little bit, like where the squares were just like a tiny bit bigger than the other ones, but for the most part, you really cannot tell. By the time I got done doing the design and everything else, you cannot tell that there's one, that has a little bit bigger squares. So I wasn't too concerned with it. So then now I'm taking the vinyl and I'm just stretching it over that top and the bottom there so that I can use my Cami Page Boutique cutter, and I can cut that excess vinyl off the top and the bottom there. So this is me just kind of stretching that vinyl out. And this is that, 651, permanent vinyl. And so it'll stretch and pull, and so you can kind of maneuver it. And, if you wanted to do a full bottom, you could, but I'm kind of getting into the no bottom club, not finishing, not finishing off the bottom. I don't know why. It just kind of like, with certain designs, I guess it's okay, but like stuff like this, I'm like, well, I can just not, just take off that, and then I won't have to deal with, a bottom and a wobbly bottom or whatever. So anyways, so this is me changing the blade. I always tell y'all this, and normally I do use tweezers, but I'm doing a move for my my craft room. I'm moving to the back room of my house, and you're going to be seeing all kinds of stuff going on, and a lot of advancements in my look and technology and videos and all kinds of things. So I'm very excited to bring y'all this. So you probably will not see me maybe for a couple of weeks while I do this transition. But anyways, I usually use tweezers to pull that blade out and then put it back in. But just be very, very careful when you're switching those out. I just want you to just be careful. That's all. So then I'm just taking my little squeegee there, and I'm just kind of just straightening out and just, making sure that the bottom doesn't have too many lumps or anything like that. I don't want to have to do a lot of sanding or anything. I really want it to be as smooth as possible. I did the top and the bottom there. So now I am putting it on a turner, if you will, so that I could do this particular step. So I don't know if a lot of you know this, but I am a huge Twilight fan. I've read the books, I've watched the movies a million times. Um, it's very important to me. Maybe one day I'll get into that, but I really enjoy those movies and enjoy the story and that kind of thing. So when Chase Ray had this new glitter that came out, it was Skin of a Killer. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have it. So I went ahead and ordered it with some other stuff, and I got it in. And then it's supposed to be kind of like, not like a full coverage, supposed to be kind of like an iridescent, kind of an additive. And so I thought, you know what I'll do is I will add this to my first layer of epoxy, and I will make this super sparkly, and then we can add some florals to the outside of this design. So that's why I used this Skin of a Killer by Chase Ray, and I just added it to the epoxy, and then I put it on this, and it just gives this beautiful iridescent, you know, glittery shimmer to this piece. And so then when we're going to put the flowers on top, the flowers are going to be more predominant to have this backing, where it's kind of muted out and then there's some glitter there. And so that was kind of my thought process. So I really enjoyed how this particular idea came out. I was very pleased with it. So then I'm just going to show you how I cleaned up the bottom there. I'm going to take a baby wipe and just use my finger and just kind of just let the turner do its job, as far as I'm just kind of holding it there and wiping that epoxy off so that we are not getting any epoxy, over the bottom there. And I really genuinely do not remember where I got these flowers from, but there are all kinds of different types of companies out there that do this type of thing. These are white backed, so they're clear. All where you see all that white is clear, but then the back side of these flowers have white ink, and so they are able to kind of go on to any kind of dark surface, or you don't have to have it on, it's not going to be see-through. And so that's what I really loved about this, where we were just going to have that gingham, that plaid look just kind of seeping through, in the background with that glitter, and just give us kind of a nice little, like the flowers in the front were going to be very predominant. So anyway, so I cut the, because it's just sometimes I feel like, I know you're not supposed to be able to see some of that clear vinyl, but I feel like sometimes maybe it's a little bit like you can kind of see it, or it's just, you touch your fingers to it and then you get a fingerprint and then you can kind of see it underneath. And so I just wanted to get as much of that excess clear vinyl off of these as possible, so that we could have success in transferring them to the tumbler, and then we are just getting those flowers. So that's why I ended up cutting all of that excess clear vinyl on the top and around it. I had a little bit of a time trying to figure out whether or not I wanted this one or that one on the bottom or the top. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to do this one on the bottom because it kind of made sense. But then I was like, you know what, let me just cut this one and get it set and ready to go. And then we'll go and put this on the top and the bottom and see kind of how it looks. So they both had the kind of flowers going in a certain direction, but I was just thinking, what makes more sense, if the flowers were falling this way or on the top or the bottom? It was a choice. It was a decision. It was hard. So anyways, I cut the excess off of this one here, and then I went into deciding on whether or not this was going to be the top or the bottom. And after that painstaking choice, I finally decided that this was how I was going to do it. This one on the top, this one on the bottom. And, you know, whatever. This was the way it was going to be. But I don't know why it was so difficult. It just really, I don't know. It's just like, I can't blow the decision day, you know. Anyways, so I just got this ready so that I could put it on there. I just wanted to make sure it was straight, and it was not straight. So I was trying to fix it so that I didn't, because I didn't want to cut too much or have any kind of excess on the top there. I really wanted to make sure that we were even all the way around. So yeah, and then I'm realizing that it is going to go off the rails a little bit. So I just kind of, okay, let me clean this up, make sure that we are straight. And yeah, so I just wanted to show you the one side that how I put it on, because I just want you to know that it is going to be a little bit more difficult because we did cut off all of that clear vinyl. And like I said, you do not have to do that. I just have a tendency to feel like maybe just taking a little bit off of it is a little bit helpful. I try to keep my fingerprints where the flowers are, so that that white backing will cover up those fingerprints, because I feel like I've seen them in the, you know, in the clear vinyl. Anyways, it's just a way to kind of keep things a little bit more precise, and you know, hopefully you can get a perfect look that you're going for. And I did kind of cut this off a little bit so that we could kind of get a seamless look for the best, to the best of our abilities. I went in with the bottom part there, and then what I'm going to do after we put the bottom on is I'm going to take some of these excess individual little bunches of flowers, and we're going to add them to the center of this tumbler. So now that we've added our top and bottom, I'm going to cut out each one of these little individual flowers and these little like bouquets, those little bunches of flowers here. And I'm going to make that decision of exactly where everything is going to go. And so I just kind of wanted this to be all full of the design that we had here. This was for a cup swap in the Made by Mal Elite group that I'm in. We decided to do an exchange, and it was basically just kind of like whatever you like, whatever colors you like, whatever style you like, and that kind of thing. So the lady that I got, I was actually really excited because she said that she was kind of speaking my language. She said that she loves flowers, and she just loves like really nice, sweet things, and didn't want anything, you know, racy or anything. So I actually was like, I really wanted to do something for spring, and I really wanted to use some flowers. And so I had been kind of going through my stuff. So when I saw this and I saw her kind of list, her little wish list, I was like, this is exactly what I want to do. And I just kind of knew right then and there that this cup was going to definitely be for her. And so once again, I am cutting the excess of that clear off of these flowers so that we can get just those flowers. So we just don't have too much excess on the cup. I don't know how better to explain it, but I mean, you could definitely just wrap this whole thing in this deal and be done. But I don't know. I just like to go to that little extra, I don't know, little extreme, I guess. So I took that first bunch and I put it on the back side there, and then, or the front side. I don't even remember which one that was, and then I just kind of flipped it over and did exactly on the other side. I'm going to put this other bunch of this little bouquet of flowers here and kind of fill that back side so that we have cohesive looks on the front and the back. And then we're going to fill in on the sides with all the rest of those little flowers and things like that. So then I went through all of my inspirational quote little division that I have in my, uh, my little folder thing that I have. And so I just kind of went through all of these to see which one might be the one to put on this tumbler, since she was, kind of like, I like motivational things and all that. And so I was really kind of torn, but I really liked this Keep It Kind. I did not like the way that it was set up on that sticker, but that was the one that was kind of speaking to me, other than that one that was from Flynn Sisters Boutique with the flowers. I felt like the flowers didn't quite match, but I was like, we can probably make it work. Nobody's really going to look that close. But I think this Keep It Kind was really the one that I definitely was like, this is a little more the speed that I wanted to go for with this. Now I started to cut it as far as, cutting the excess clear vinyl off. And then as I was cutting this and putting it on there, I kind of decided, I was like, you know what, it's just not like, it doesn't feel right to put it like this. And I just kept going around and around. And then I finally just decided, I was like, you know what? We're just going to make this our own, since it's already printed. It's white backed, so we can just go right into putting this on without putting a coat of epoxy or anything, because it's going to go straight over this. So I was like, you know what? We're just going to cut this up and we're going to make it our own. And we're going to put this on there the way it fits right. So once again, cutting that excess of that clear vinyl off, just to ensure that we are keeping it as clean as possible. I decided to put this on there. Then I was like, okay, I'm going to put it in that little place that we can set it in. And so once I got that on there, then I put the keep on there, and I realized that I needed to move this down. I needed to move the it down just a tad. So I was able to remove that and get this done. I will try to find this decal, and maybe Wendy can have it on her website, because the place that I got this no longer has these decals and things like that. So but this is super easy. You could definitely make this out of vinyl in Cricut or Silhouette or whatever. But if you do want this decal, I can definitely try to see if Wendy can grab it up and put it on her site, and I will link it down below. So then I'm putting a coat of Mod Podge on here, since there is all kinds of fingerprints and touching and oils and things like that. So I did put it all over the flowers, because I put the flowers on there and then I put the decal. I did not put a coat of epoxy, so this is just covering this up. I did make sure that I cleaned up that bottom there, and then I just set that over to the side and let that dry. Now these next coats of epoxy are going to be our final coats of epoxy. So I went in with a coat just to, like, after the Mod Podge was dry, this was to seal in all of that vinyl, and that way we can go into sanding the rim and sanding all around and making sure that we have a smooth, nice surface, so that we can send this off to our partner in crime over at MBM Elite. And now going into our final coat, after I did some sanding on the top and sanding all around. Also, I made sure that I was cleaning up that bottom rim there, so that we did not have any excess epoxy over, towards the bottom. So I just took my baby wipe, made sure that the whole bottom was clean, and then that rim around that thing was clean as well. And here she is. I totally forgot to do my landscape filming of this, so this is the one you get here. This is going back old school. So anyways, I think you definitely get the idea. This was such a success. I really loved the spring vibe, the florals, the Keep It Kind decal. It really just led to exactly the wish list that my partner had. And I really love the just subtleness of that glitter behind those flowers. So nothing is like coming at you too much. I love those white backed flowers and the decal and the plaid. Everything goes so beautifully, and it was a real success. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe and comment down below and let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.